Good morning. This is the morning news on WSBA, the Friday morning edition. I'm Gary Sutton.
I'm Joel Sears.
WSBA news time is 7:10. As a lot of you heard, the new Gary Sutton show is going to be coming up in about 2 weeks. Kind of return to the old Gary Sutton show that was around for 8 years, and except the same old guy will be doing it. But you're going to be doing a lot of different things with that. And, of course, Joel will be a part of that a lot of the time and weighing in with his off-the-rails segment and all those good things. So don't think you're getting off the hook.
I don't want to be off the hook.
Good.
I want to be on the hook.
So we're looking at around the 13th or so, but again, don't hold me to the exact day. But it's time now for a little breakdown segment here that Joel and I have this morning. You know, we talk about government waste all the time. You say, you just throw that word around there. Well, maybe not so much. And we thought we'd go out and not just talk about government waste in general, but get you 10 rather interesting forms of government waste. You know, it was interesting late in the year that House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi from California said that she thought that the cupboard was bare. There's no more cuts that we can possibly make.
I don't know whose cupboard she was looking in.
Well, I was watching through the tears. I really was. and then I sat down and I saw this list. So let's start it out this morning and see if the cupboard might still have a few little morsels in there. For example, number 10 on this list of the top 10. $98,670 for an outhouse in Alaska. The Interior Department spent nearly $100,000 to install an outhouse on an Alaskan trail, which includes a single toilet with no internal plumbing. I remember in Scouts, we did that one time. It was called making a latrine. It's a trail.
You're in the outback in Alaska.
Yeah.
But to their credit, they had one more outhouse than Times Square did on New Year's Eve.
Very nice. Yeah, that's a good thing to remember. So $100,000 for an outhouse on a trail in Alaska. You
just have to look at the photograph and you scratch your head and, okay.
I have a one-word.
There are trees around.
I have one word for an answer for that. Leaves and squat. How's that? What's another example here, Joel?
Well, how about a bus stop? We've seen this one publicized a couple times. This is a bus stop in the Washington area with heated pavement.
This is Washington State,
right?
Yeah.
Washington, D.C. area. Near Arlington, Virginia. Cost $1 million, and it has heated pavement, but it still can't keep commuters warm or dry. And you see the photograph of it, and it's covered with snow. And matter of fact, it's full of snow. So maybe the snow melts faster because the pavement's heated.
So it's failed to keep the commuters
$1 million
warm
for a bus stop.
Or dry. Sounds swell.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So number 8, as we continue to go backwards toward number 1, you can only think of what that might be. There was a grant given by the government for $10,000, by the way.
Chump change.
Yeah, for a pole dancing performance. Now, Utility Poles, that is the National Endowment for the Arts, provided a grant to Power Up for Austin Energy employees to perform an artsy dance with 20 utility poles accompanied by a large orchestra. I kid you not. Not a large orchestra, a live large orchestra.
Just imagine when this stuff is exposed, Gary, and you're the person in charge of granting this money.
Now, explain to me how this is going to work. Well, we got these big utility poles out there we want you to put up, and then we're going to have this big orchestra, and it only will cost us $10,000.
Oh, what a deal.
Why are we doing that? Because we can, and it's not our money? Joel?
Number 7, pizza from a printer.
What?
Yep, $124,995. Now, NASA, who's decided to stop putting people on the moon and stop shuttle flights and so forth, managed to find $125,000 to finance a grant to a company that aspires to make pizza from a 3D printer.
Can you eat it?
I don't know. I mean, 3D printers, I think, are supposed to use plastic and epoxy and things like that to make undetectable guns, among other things. No, seriously, they're great devices, and they're used for making prototypes and manufacturing. But why in the world would anybody need to make pizza from a printer? Again, what's wrong with the old-fashioned throw-the-dough method?
Maybe just put it in the oven. I thought we had a device that could do that, put it in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
But instead you want to print off the 3D pizza.
Custom pizza.
Yeah. What if you get extra toppings?
Well,
thick sliced or thin sliced?
Chicago style or New York?
Guess I have to get a different kind of paper if I'm going to do the thick sliced. Anyway, number 6, study to find out if couples are happier when the woman calms down after an argument. This is a study.
And we spent how much?
$335,525. Marriages that were the happiest were the ones in which the wives were able to calm down quickly during marital conflict. Hell, just come to someone's house, you can figure that one out. They found a study of 81 couples funded by the National Institutes of Health. There we are again. Our wellness, $335,000 to figure out that couples are happier when the woman calms down quickly. How about don't make her mad in the first place, right? We're looking at the top 10 bits of government waste. Now, I remember, and I lamented with her when Nancy Pelosi said the cupboard, however, is bare. You know, it's bare. There's no more cuts to make. I mean, sequestered, everything that's taken is down to bare limits.
Practically nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I felt horrible.
It's terrible.
So we've given you the first 5 so far. So we're going to come down to number 5, and Joel, take it away.
All right, here we go. Booze and crystal for the State Department, $5.4 million. The State Department went on a bender the week before the government shutdown, purchasing $5 million of exquisite crystal glassware to presumably drink the $400,000 in booze they purchased in 2013.
Wow. $5.4 million. And you say, well, they got to have that stuff. I mean, they're entertaining formal guests and all that kind of thing.
Come on.
Yeah, come on. Anybody here have paper cups? Come on, what are we doing here? I mean, you could get the paper cups with the designs on. I mean, and you can get them pretty good, like at like
the dollar store.
You know, BJ, Sam's, that kind of thing. Get them in bulk. How about Big Lots? There you go. You go out there and you can take care of getting some of that stuff and make it cheap. But you say, no, we have to have crystal. We have
for
to
sure.
be able to do
we
that.
wouldn't want to offend the guests.
Yes, exactly right. Number 4, monitoring depression on Twitter. $82,000 for this one. The National Institutes of Health. Here we are again. You notice the National Institutes of Health shows up here a lot.
They have
caring
money
for
to burn.
us. Yeah, our money. The National Institutes of Health is funding a study to use Twitter for surveillance on depressed people, according to the Free Beacon.
I thought the NSA was doing that already.
I thought the National Institute of Health was causing more depressed people by what they're doing so far. That's really the problem. So maybe we could have a Twitter feed to monitor what they're doing, and maybe if they did something better, we wouldn't be so darn depressed. How's that?
Oh, there you go.
Just a thought.
All right, here's another one. 7-figure stack of rocks at the London Embassy. This one was only $1 million. And if you look at the photograph of it, Gary, it looks like a fireplace. The American Embassy in London will be receiving a granite sculpture from an artist whose work resembles stacked piles of paving stones, according to the Daily Mail. It's a wall.
Did they move Stonehenge or something?
Oh, there you go. It's special rock.
Good.
Great. $1 million. Okay.
$1 million for, well, art is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is it? It looks like a stack of rocks. Oh, no. You're not seeing it.
You're missing the whole point here.
Study it a little bit longer.
The intricacies.
I tell you what, knowing $1 million of taxpayer money went to that, I might study
it longer. Makes you feel really good, too, doesn't it?
No, it still kind of looks like
it's only about 30 cents a taxpayer.
Yeah, sure. But it's
big
still,
deal.
It's still just it still looks like a stack of rocks.
That's because it is.
Yeah. Geez. And there's no mortar in there either. So just a thought.
Here comes another goodie.
All right. This is artwork for Veterans Affairs offices. $562,000. Now, normally I say, give anything to the veterans we want to give to them. But the Department of Veterans Affairs went on a spending spree during the use it or lose it season, purchasing over $500,000 in artwork and millions in furniture in a single week. $562,000.
Yeah, anybody that's worked in government knows what that use it or lose it season is.
Exactly right. If you don't use it, it's going back into the general fund somewhere.
And your budget will be reduced by that amount next year, so it's a double whammy.
Now,
got to spend it.
Now, the number one, I'm going to allow to my friend Joel here.
This is great.
Yeah, so take it away, Joel.
Government employee trip to luxury hotel in the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And the price on this is priceless, like our friends from MasterCard.
Sure, yeah.
Federal employees took a taxpayer-funded trip to the Buccaneer Hotel in St. Croix, the same hotel made famous on TV's The Bachelor. The bill was divided among a number of agencies, making a final tally difficult to come by.
So how many employees went? Do we have any idea?
I don't think we have any accounting at all on this one.
Well, that's nice.
And I'll give you the honorable mention because it's a sports theme.
Yes, a Super Bowl champion Obamacare campaign, $130,000. The Baltimore Ravens, our favorite football team, the world champions still, were paid $130,000 in taxpayer money to do what? To sponsor the Affordable Care Act. Now, in all seriousness, if you remember this, the NFL turned them down.
Mm-hmm.
It turned down the Obama people and said, we're not going to get involved in this. Not the Ravens. Ravens went out there and $130,000 there. So there you go. So if you think that the cupboard is bare, maybe not so much.
We didn't rack up $17 trillion in debt, Gary, by being careful about expenditure. And yeah, some of these are trivial. They're small amounts of money, but
take that times thousands.
And that's what happens. They're buried. They're under the radar. It happens every day.
Death by 1,000 different kinds of taxes and laws and stupidity, and there it is.